Welcome to the show. No, deeply disgusted. So, in today's episode, we're going to discuss P. Diddy getting 4 years after facing life. Wow. What a big difference. Denied bail, offered $1 million. He was too dangerous to come outside. P. Diddy, oh, the diddler. Remember social media was calling him the diddler? He was too dangerous. It was like he was like a serial killer. Like I know killers that got bail. But Diddy, no way. We can't give him bail. He's way too dangerous. And he only got 4 years. Wow. Let's get to it.
Does he serve the full 3 years or does he serve 85%? In other words, would he serve 2.5 years?
So there is opportunity for him to get out earlier on good behavior. And so the calculation is not exact.
Of course he could get out earlier. He been locked up for 2 years and denied bail for a RICO that is a domestic violence case. For doing something that many people, millionaires and regular people, hey, want to come out? I'll fly you out. You over 18? Yeah, I'm 32. Okay. Got your flight. We're going to chill, party, whatever. At the end of the night, if we end up smashing and she came from out of state, who knew that that was against the law for an adult female to then say, oh no, he forced me to fly out. Yeah, I was forced on the plane. Yeah, I was forced to drink Moet all night. I was forced to stay in this big, beautiful mansion, and I come from the projects.
And time will tell whether he will be getting out with some time off from the full 3. I know it's a 4-year sentence. Obviously, the 14 months counts. You already deduct that. I mean, that's definitely coming off because he does have credit for the time served. So already it's less than the sentence that he's getting, the 4 years. But yeah, he could very easily be walking out sooner rather than later. So the children will have their father.
Diddy might be out in 2 months, to be honest with you. I mean, can you really stop a billionaire that beat majority of the rough charges that probably would have got him up to at least 20, 30, 40 years? And now he's only facing 4 and he already was in jail for 2. You don't think a billionaire would use all his money and get extra lawyers and they filing all type of forms, and you don't think he'll be out the next day? I honestly doubt he'll do a whole year. I doubt he'd do the whole year, but who am I?
Their home sooner than they expected. And as Joe mentioned before, he can be on his comeback tour, in no time.
We had a poll up. What do you?
And speaking of comeback, ooh, when Diddy comes back, oh my Lord, y'all better run and hide. The diddler's coming. The diddler's coming. The worst thing that you want. Let me tell you the worst thing that you do. The things that you don't want in life. It's a few people that you don't want coming after you. You don't want the IRS to come after you because they have the full funding of the federal government to come get you. You do not want a rich man to come after you because a rich man has all the access. Literally, he could be in his house and just hire a private investigator like, yo, follow my baby mom all day. And whatever she do, you see her doing anything wrong, call police. He'll hire an investigator just to follow you for a year. Just to follow you for a year just to get on your nerves, and it'll probably cost them 100K a year to pay the investigator. 100K a year, private. He works directly for P. Diddy just to investigate you after y'all investigated him.
What do you think Diddy's sentence will be? So 31% said less than 5 years. They were correct. It's interesting as we're processing the sentence of 4 years, time served, 3, maybe 85%, so 2.5, 3 years to serve behind bars. I wonder if he's actually going to now have to serve it at the MDC because it's it's a lesser sentence than we were anticipating. I will say the court imposes a fine of $500.
He looks very disappointed. He looked like he's like, dang, I thought the ratings was gonna go through the roof. I thought this man was gonna get 20 years and we could make like 5, 6, 8 shows about it and get some good ad revenue. Guys, the courts failed us.
$100,000, including to defray the costs of imprisonment. There is no restitution, but there is forfeiture as reflected in the order. There is a $5,000 fine under the statute and a special assessment of $200. Sierra, I go to you. This is interesting because I also wonder what the reaction is going to be outside that courthouse in a few minutes. What we're going to hear from the attorneys, what we're going to hear from supporters of Sean Combs, what we might be hearing from potential victims or people who are there opposed to Sean Combs. Are you seeing anything outside since the sentence has been read?
You know what's interesting, Jesse? After the verdict came down, you could feel it in the air. It was, intense. You could actually feel the emotion. Now that the sentence has been handed down, it seems to me like no one around us actually knows that it was handed down. I mean, it did just happen. We're probably one of the first ones to report it at all, but there's been no commotion. There's been no cheering. There's been no free Diddy, in support of Diddy. There's been no opposition to Diddy. That has been pretty interesting to me overall. I mean, as far as what we're going to hear from the attorney.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. That is kind of weird. Or that on sentencing day, nobody's outside. Like, there's no crowd for P. Diddy. Like, his sentence just happened and there's no crowd at all. But during his trial, it was a packed house, inside and out. But now, it's all done. It's all about sentencing. Now everybody's just basically just disappeared. Let's see what Flacco got to say about this.
Just officially sentenced Diddy to 50 months in jail for Mann Act violations. 50 months, 4 years and 2 months. And his reasoning why is BS. We should all be pissed off and angry at what we just witnessed in his courtroom today. And if you weren't there or if you was at work and didn't have time to read up on what happened or how Diddy rights were violated, lucky for you, I sat through everything. I watched every update since about 9 a.m. this morning. This is the sentencing table to judge.
Yo, shout out to K Flacco, man. He's really doing his thing. Like, his videos are going up. People are sharing it. People are actually reviewing his videos because it's so well done and well explained. He really does his homework on these cases and really break it down. The only thing he needs to do to break down next is some weight. Because Flacco, man, you looking kind of little butterbally over there, bro.
Judge is supposed to use to figure out what's going to be the range of sentence.
What the hell is this, a science experiment? This is confusing. Who made this up? Who made this up? A mathematical scientist just to sentence you? This look like some old slavery type of, like, how long you gonna be in slavery type thing? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What is this? When was this created? Like 1902?
Since Diddy falls in Zone B and Zone C due to his conviction of the Mann Act, which is, bruh, he transported people to engage in prostitution. Now, because
Oh boy, I'm so tired of hearing about that. Grown women that want to be transported and hopped on flights and jets and get smashed. Now all of a sudden, they're so innocent victims. I'm just an Instagram model. Yes, I show a little cheeks here and there, but I don't want to be smashed when I go to another state.
Diddy, this is his first conviction, is supposed to fall in the 4 to 10 months or maximum 8 to 14 months. It's unprecedented for somebody to get anywhere near 5 years or 4 years in jail for a Mann Act violation. But this is where you begin to see the devil at work here.
Welcome to New York.
Where you begin to see this judge is a radical judge. He has it out for Diddy. It's unprecedented. Because the judge looked Diddy in his eyes, looked his attorneys in his eyes in court, and he said, listen, I know he was acquitted of all the other stuff that will require a harsher sentence, but I'm still going to consider those other stuff as well when I sentence him. So I'm not just sentencing him for stuff the jury decided, but yeah, I did my homework. I have to legal back in a legal basis to sentence him for stuff that I heard in court that he was acquitted of. The state attorneys.
I wonder if that's something that a judge should say. Let's say if I was found guilty of, let's say, RAP, right? And I was acquitted of, let's say, murder, right? Totally innocent. The judge that's sentencing me for RAP is going to add in my murder charges because he feels that the jury, then where is the innocent before proven guilty? Like, what is it even in? Are you even innocent? Are you really innocent?
Kept asking the judge to consider the beatings the women went through, how they was forced to do this, how they were coerced to do this.
Oh my Lord, I'm with a rich man and he's a billionaire and I have to be with him all day. Oh, this is torturous.
How this ruined their life. Diddy attorneys objected and said, hold on. Diddy was found not guilty. He was acquitted of trafficking these women. He was acquitted of engaging in anything that required force or coercion. The literal charge was trafficking by force or coercion. Diddy was found not guilty. Why do y'all keep saying?
My question is, how do you traffic an adult that accepted the plane ticket? You forced them and you coerced them. Like you telling me that game is illegal now? So you telling me that I could spit? I'm the best game spitter in the planet, right? I'm spitting game. I'm macking it, right? I got 3 shorties to come to my crib from another state, right? I convinced them. They are over 18. These are grown women. They're no little kids. I mean, they could go to the army and die, right? So they could go to the army and die, but they can't cross over state lines with a plane ticket and get smashed?
These women were forced or coerced to do these things by Diddy. He was acquitted of this. He was found guilty of transporting people to engage in prostitution. The jury ruled that what those women did was consensual. So all the other stuff that he was acquitted for, that should have no play in what sentence he gets.
The jury is a smart jury on his case. I'm not. Diddy is lucky.
The judge said, listen, you are wrong, Diddy attorneys. The judge says, now, as to the objections, the defense says acquitted conduct cannot be considered. There is no guidance from any court on this. We don't know what the jury was thinking. That means, hey, the jury acquitted him of trafficking, but they could have still thought that he coerced or forced these women to travel for prostitution. We don't.
Oh, so now we're finding people guilty based on the jury's mind, like their subconscious? Like, are we going to attach like cables to their brain and like read what they was thinking? Like, oh yeah, okay, you found them not guilty, but you still think he was guilty. Okay.
I don't know what they were thinking, but I still have to use my eyes and what I seen in this courtroom and what I heard in this courtroom Even if the jury acquitted him of certain things, I still heard it so I could use it in my sentencing guidelines and I could consider it when I sentence him. The judge will state that it's overlapping conduct, so the force, coercion, or abuse that Jane Doe and Cassie testified that they received at the hands of Diddy, that could also apply to other charges. Those conduct work their way into other charges. However, the difference between trafficking,
It's a crazy world when you can't even control your woman with a little bit of force, you know? Like, shut up and sit down before I come over there. You know? It's a crazy world, right? I'm not saying you gotta do some hotel stuff like Diddy did. I mean, that's out of line. That's out of line. He's crazy, but at least I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna look you in the eye and I'm gonna force you to sit down, girl. Cause I'm the man.
and transportation for prostitution is literally force and coercion. The minute you start considering force and coercion into that conduct, it becomes trafficking. It's no longer transportation. Transportation means all he did was transport them to do these things. Force and coercion and transporting is trafficking.
Yo, these laws has to change, yo. There's some silly stuff going on here. I see what the laws are doing. They trying to catch people that's really, gun smugglers and really pimps and really there's really dudes out there that's their career. But you talking about regular guys at home, laying on the couch. They got money. They like, yo, man, I got like $1 billion in my account. Yo, see if you could get like 20 shorties to come over here and suck me off tonight.
Which is why I don't understand why he would consider this, right? And he will say it only applies or it only impacts the advisory guidelines range. So he officially rules that acquitted conduct can be considered. See U.S. versus Vaughn, Second Circuit, and other cases. Even matters that cannot be considered for the guidelines can be considered under 3553A. This is nasty work.
Nasty and very confusing.
The judge essentially said, man, the jury don't matter. They're dumb. I'm king. If I sat in that courtroom and I heard you were accused of arson, bribery, RICO, trafficking, beating up women, forced coercion, and you was acquitted, the jury don't believe you did those things.
I'm so shocked that he actually able to make good quality sounding videos. Way better than mine, so I'll tell you that. And I don't even stutter. This dude stutters. For all of y'all out there that stutters, just know that that Flacco is your hero. Just know that.
If I heard it and I was convinced, well, I could still use that in my sentencing guidelines because I thought that you forced and coerced them, and that's overlapping conduct, and that can also overlap into the into the transportation charge, even though you were found not guilty of trafficking. That's crazy work. And the other thing he said when he said,
basically, sorry, Diddy, I know the jury acquitted you for all of that, but guess what? I'm the head honcho in here, buddy. This is not Bad Boys, okay?
even things that you were acquitted of that can't be considered for the guideline, I can still consider it. And here's why that's important. Diddy's sentencing guidelines in court is he had 0 victims because he didn't force or coerce anybody to do anything. He had 0 victims.
Oh, that was one stutter right there.
He had no prior convictions. And it's like a level 12 offense. So the guidelines for that is, well, like probation, 12 to 18 months, like max. But the judge is saying, no. I sat in this courtroom and I heard testimony. Even though he was acquitted, I still believe he had more than 0 victims. I think he had 10 victims.
Who was the victim? I know. What are you talking about? Cassie? His girl? Your girlfriend's a victim? Who you been with for 10 years? Probably was engaged to her and everything. Now she's a victim of crime.
Victims. The reason why how many victims the judge think Diddy had is important is because there's enhancements. So if the sentencing guideline is, hey, it's an offense level 12 and is guideline 1 because he has no prior criminal history, 12 to 18 months, the judge can say, no, I think he has 10 victims and enhancements applied.
It's so crazy how New York put the book on people like Diddy, but then you go to New York and you got all type of crazies walking around and hitting people upside the head. There is people every day in New York. They're making victims every day. They hitting girls upside the head. They don't even know. At least Diddy knew her.
So Section 3's enhancement is for defendants aggravating role, vulnerable victims, and obstruction of justice that applies. So if the judge believes Diddy has 10 victims, well, that increased the offense level. Now those enhancements can take this to an offense level 27, which it did. Diddy argued, hey, judge, I have no victims. And if you're wondering, bruh, like he got convicted of transporting Cassie and Jane Doe for rendezvous. What you mean he has no victims? Flacco, how's that possible? That's possible because, again, the precedent for the Mann Act is these were consensual adults. Everything was consensual. They was down for it, and all he did was use his money to transport them. He didn't force them to do so. And that's why you're about to see why the setup is crazy and why Diddy got done wrong. The judge ruled, no, Diddy, you actually have 10 victims. Cassie, Jane Doe, and 8 men that were hired as prostitutes.
Oh my Lord. The judge added in the men that banged Cassie. Oh my God. How can you be a victim and you a man? You got paid to bang a beautiful, gorgeous woman like Cassie. Oh my gosh. What are we going to do in this United States of America? I think we're done. Honestly, I think we're done. If this could happen to Diddy, it could happen to you.